Hey guys, Steve here. Today we're gonna look at the new campaign reward ship Brandenburg Tier 7 German battleship. We got Celiax, balls to the wall secondaries. We're gonna be comparing it to the Odin. So I wanted to show you my Odin build. Now the Odin build, reload, speed. There's the ship build. We got the secondary mods and bull slots there. There's the armor. Celiax. Getting back to him, I got everything secondary related. Okay, so curiously enough, the Brandenburg range on the secondaries with the identical build 11.9 compared to 11.7 on the Bismarck. So this is actually the king of the German secondary, at least not counting the Grober, of course. But compared to the Bismarck, which traditionally has kind of held the top slot, this one actually seems to be stronger. It's got more secondary guns as well. I was checking the settings there because I realized looking at the scoreboard, oh, it shows all the networks that people are on. Everyone in this game was PlayStation, so I want to make sure the game didn't reset. And this is actually my first game in the Brandenburg. Now, if you're new to the channel, basically what I do, I'm a community contributor here. We get the ships to test out, and I usually play about 10 games or so. I haven't played quite as many on this one. 6 or 7 would be my guess, because it's got a very similar feel to other ships that I know and love already. Now, Odin would be the closest comparison in my opinion. Same caliber guns, kind of lower caliber. What are they? 305s. Okay, so you got to understand how the guns work. They're not going to be penetrating heavy battleship armor as readily. You might want to be utilizing the HE if necessary. Keep an eye on what your shots are doing. But curiously enough, the Odin, if you notice the build, it was kind of set up with speed. I had Emily Guay Prada, or whatever his name is, on the one of the inspirations. This one's actually faster, not including that. Okay, so, and the maneuverability a little bit better. The turn steering gears operate a little bit faster, a little bit bigger turn circle, but overall Brandenburg moves pretty well. Now, if you don't want to go all the way into the secondaries like I do, that's fine. And note here, like I said, this is my first game, didn't put the secondary enhancement mod there. We still have the plane. If you're not going to go for the secondaries, you probably want to leave that off, I suppose, but maybe not. I don't know. You don't have to spec all the way into the secondaries like I do. I mean, it's, for me, there's only a few ships in the game that really makes sense to be using this. And whenever possible, I like to use them. So if we use the secondary enhancement mod right now, those shots firing at the Fletcher or that destroyer, the grouping would be much tighter. The guns would be firing even faster, and we'd whittle them down even quicker than we're going to do here. But we will go ahead and take him out with a close quarters thing here in a moment. And note, we did whack the Belfast pretty well there as well. So getting back to the disparate builds, the different builds that we have here, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to say, okay, Brandenburg has greater gun range, okay, because I don't have the Brawler on this particular build, but I do on my Scharnhorst build. But, you know, on the reload, definitely slower on the Brandenburg, okay? Now we got 12 guns compared to 9 on the Odin. So whenever that happens, usually the reload's going to be faster on the lower number of gun ships anyways, just kind of as a balancing factor. But, again, how much of a difference there is? Well, I'm not 100% sure because I got, what's his face, Pablo, the Italian battleship commander, inspiring my Scharnhorst build, and that's the main gun reload. Okay, so there's a few things that I'm enhancing on my Odin, my Tirpitz, that I'm not enhancing on this. And why I would choose to use that, Scharnhorst is another one, Gneisenau. Now, those are the 4 ships I currently have that Scharnhorst character running the show on. And that's just because the secondaries on those ships not as useful. They're good if you can get within close range, of course. All right, but I'm not going to go lean in on them like we're going to do with the Brandenburg, like we're going to do with the Grosser Kurfürst, like we're going to do with the Bismarck, where we got excellent range, we got excellent fire output. Those secondaries on the other ones, decent, above average, no doubt, but not worth leaning into. So I'm using the speed to get the torpedoes in range on those, and there's enhancements to the torps in terms of speed and detectability, I believe. So that's more focused on the torps here. And you got plenty of options with this thing. You saw the armor when we loaded into the game. Very good armor scheme here. And Belfast takes the torp. We're trying to clean them up with the main guns. Don't quite get them, but here's the secondaries. Nope, don't get the Belfast there, unfortunately. But we did contributed to getting him off the board, and that's important, okay, because the Belfast can wreck destroyers. Radar cruisers, of course, should be basically as high of a priority target as enemy destroyers are, especially in low count destroyer games. Okay, so you got to protect your destroyers as much as you got to hunt the enemy destroyers, and getting rid of those radar cruisers such as Belfast an important step. So now we got the Nagato down there. You can see he's kiting away. He just reappeared on the screen. Am I going to get bogged down chasing this guy after Timbuktu? Of course not. There's more important things to do. Look at this. We got B currently under red control now. Blue is trying to flip that, but that's where the bulk of the red forces. They're off to the northeast. So rather than getting bogged down with this Nagato, we're going to try and get on B, the cap there. We're hoping to find this destroyer that's over here. And we want to get some crossfire shots into all those ships that are pointed to the northwest facing C. So sure, we'll go ahead and shoot the Nagato when we're going over there. But we're not going to focus on him. Don't get fooled by these ships that are pulling you to the edge of the map. There's nothing of strategic value down there. And of course, we don't want to focus on it too much. Now, we'll see some shots here. I think that one wasn't too big there. But when we're fully broadside, of course, we'll take some decent shots from time to time. But whenever pointed in, basically nose in, they're going to have a hard time dealing damage with us. And take a look at these secondaries just wiping the Shiratsuyu off the face of the map here. And again, we don't have that secondary enhancement mod. The destroyers need to be extremely afraid of the Brandenburg. Whether or not it's spec for secondaries or not shouldn't really matter. I mean, it's just not a ship. I think base it's like 7-9 or thereabouts the kilometer reach on this. There's a decent shot on, from the Nagato, who does have big booming guns. They're not the most accurate, but they can certainly do damage. But anyway, destroyers and whatever else, just if you got a Brandenburg closing in on you, understand you're going to be getting two sources of damage from you. The secondaries, the main guns, and even torps if it gets close range. I don't think we see the torps in this particular match. But anyway, this will be pretty familiar to those of you that like these German torpedo battleships. I've been having a lot of fun with the ship so far. This isn't even going to be the highest damage game. You guys will see why we picked this one at the end of the match, of course. But you can definitely put up the numbers. You just got to understand shell selection. Like this Nagato, when he's angled away, for instance, we should be trying to fire HE whenever possible. And you can see we sent a couple salvos down his range. It's just because we don't have the gun caliber to overmatch really any armor schemes on these battleships that are heavily angled. So, just understand angled battleships. Go ahead and, if you feel like they're going to remain angled, try and switch over to the HE. Cruisers, though, these lighter caliber guns can be extremely dangerous. And destroyers, of course, as well. So I like the Brandenburg. I like the play style. Been having a lot of fun. There's the third kill. And again, we're not racking up a lot of damage, but I'm thinking to myself, hey, look at this. We got 4 ships left on the enemy team. Only need 2 kills to get a Kraken in the first game in the Brandenburg. That'd be kind of cool. So we're going to try and move in here. And of course, this is what we always talk about on this channel, the advantage of spacing these battleships out. Look at this. I think the guy on C, it looks like it's a battleship. My replay when we're recording the videos very small, but I think there's a battleship to C, but then we got one about a square and a half south of him, and then we're about a square and a half, 2 squares south of him. And this is really good spacing, because now these guys have to choose, okay, which of these ships do we angle? And if they really want to play it perfectly, they would try and angle towards the guy in the middle and then present similar angles to the guy to the south and the guy to the north. But they're all kind of angling towards the dude that they've been fighting for the majority of the match. That's kind of to the west of C. And that, of course, is why we want to move into these positions here. 3-4 squares south of the guy. They're angling. That means whenever we get these shots, we're going to be shooting them in the sides. And look at the secondaries going off here. And this would be a good time to just park right here. I'm trying to be a little bit aggressive because we are trying to poach these kills so we can get the Kraken, of course, for the glory in the video. But, advantage us, Tirpitz. Okay, now if he closes in, he's got the same type of torpedo schemes as we do. We have to account for that, but our secondaries can definitely give us the advantage long range. So if I was playing this a little more tactically, or let's say the game was a little bit more closely contested, and then we would probably just want to sit here, make sure we're angling, and then just kind of lean in on them with those secondaries. So Tirpitz goes down there. We're still hunting for the kills, unfortunately. Key, though, he's about 10k left here, coming up on the reload. And he's definitely a ship we can damage if possible. Now he is beginning to angle in on us. You can see on the map there. Secondaries once again starting to go off. And once again, keep in mind, we don't have the secondary enhancement mod, which I think the player base, maybe, you know, they probably understand that. I think the player base doesn't understand the slot for secondary enhancement mod on like Celiax, for instance, though, which will boost the performance of that mod anyways. It's very powerful. Now I understand giving up a couple heals is a lot to ask, and basically very few players actually probably choose to do that. I very rarely talk to anyone who uses the same build that I do on Celiax, but I'm just telling you, if you're going to go all the way in on the secondaries, go all the way in on the secondaries. Atlanta coming around here, front gun's going to be blocked, but we get the back guns, which were already loaded, shots away just as we come across that mountain. And we got the fingers crossed here. Do we get the Kraken? Yes! Down goes the Atlanta for the 5th kill. So, thought that was kind of a fun game to check out the Brandenburg with. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships, and it's coming all the time for you. Questions, comments, leave below. Love to hear from you, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.